This week, I want to make sure we all understand exactly what's happening in the economy, because while everyone's arguing about politics, you need to follow the data. And the data is telling a story that nobody wants to hear. It's about a policy that's supposed to help America, but it's doing what we feared, at least for now, and it's going to affect your money. The evidence so far is plain as day. So, look, I get it. I've been analyzing markets and working with individual investors for 2 decades, and here's what I've learned. Don't mix your politics with your money. In investing, ideology can kill you. If you invest based on political beliefs, the market has no mercy for your preferences, and you only make money by being right. I've seen it happen to all kinds of investors, and it's usually due to fear. People pulled their money out of markets because they thought Obama or Biden would turn us into a socialist country, and markets plowed ahead. People sold their stocks because they thought Trump would crash the market, and stocks rose. And we, every single one of us, are drowning in biases. We have wishful thinking, confirmation bias, fear and greed. Our mental process is a mess. And in recent years, it's only gotten worse. We now live in a world where there's no accepted truth anymore. Depending on what you read, who you follow on social media, 2 different people can live in 2 completely different realities. And this isn't what the word fact is supposed to mean, but it seems sometimes like I have my facts and you have yours. But here's the thing, the market only has truth. And as an investor, you should only chase that truth. That's why today I want to take an unbiased look at something that's already affecting your money, and that's President Trump's tariff policy. Now, I know everyone has strong opinions about Trump. Few people want to listen to anything outside their comfort zone, and that's okay. There's plenty of things you don't need to change your mind on. But on tariffs, this matters to your money, and now we finally have some real data to work with. So here's where we stand. Trump has put tariffs in place. The average effective tariff rate is now around 20%. That's the highest since 1910. And as Trump's pause on tariff runs its course, he's promising to add even bigger ones. More tariffs on pharmaceuticals and computer chips. He's talking about higher tariffs on Bangladesh, Japan, South Korea, and others. So we'll see where it all lands. But right now, it stands to reason that whatever has started happening will continue and maybe even speed up if more tariffs take hold. So let's see what's actually happening. The biggest fear with tariffs was always inflation. If you add a tax to goods crossing the border, costs go up. The question has been, do businesses eat those costs, or do they pass them on to you? So on Tuesday, we got new inflation data. The headline number, inflation was up, but still pretty tame. The consumer price index rose 2.7% over last year. That's higher than last month's 2.4%. And it's also the highest since February. But as always, the devil's in the details. And when you dig deeper, you see more specific evidence as to what's going on. So it starts with goods versus services. Goods can be imported across borders, services can't. And guess what? Inflation's hitting goods harder than services. And the deeper you dig, the clearer it gets. The very goods you'd expect to show inflation from tariffs are showing inflation from tariffs. So toys, furniture, clothing, all those kinds of things that we import are going up. So it's not huge yet. It's not really going to change anyone's lifestyle, but that's evidence that the tariffs are causing inflation and is not coming from something else. On the other hand, one benefit of tariffs was supposed to be more manufacturing jobs, more American jobs. But nothing on that yet. In fact, manufacturing jobs are heading in the wrong direction, and that, of course, is downward. So we're trying to understand how these tariffs will affect the U.S. economy. Classic economics told us it would bring inflation and that any manufacturing benefits would take longer to show up if they show up at all. So what we're learning is Trump's tariff philosophy has not disproven mainstream economics yet. But there's a bigger thing that bothers me about this entire situation, and it's something I think that you can fix. Economics are about trade-offs. When the government imposes any policy, there will be benefits, but there will also be costs. It's unavoidable. It's how the world works. But the problem with our political class is they just can't admit that to voters. They have to pretend that they have magical policies that are only entirely good. This comes from both sides of the aisle, but the pitch for tariffs has been especially outrageous. The promise is it'll move manufacturing back to the U.S., and it'll generate tax revenue, and it won't cause inflation, and that it's just a wonderful policy with no downside. But that's just nonsense. Everything has a cost. And the issue is that we get zero intellectual honesty from our political class, and again, from both sides. But because our elected officials no longer respect their own voters, they can't even acknowledge the cost their policies might inflict. Rather than open accounting of pros and cons, they try and tell us it's only pros. It's all about their messaging rather than policy debate. They think we can't handle the nuance, and in the end, they treat us like children. Well, I think you can handle the truth, and I think you should demand it. So here's what you need to know. Every month now, we're going to get more evidence of tariff effects. Watch the data. Don't trust the spin. Trust the numbers. You must keep track of how your elected officials perform, both the ones you didn't vote for, but especially the ones you did. On the financial side, tariffs matter for the economy. The economy matters for your money and for your wealth. And markets don't care about soundbite slogans or political charm. They care about the truth and facts. So, if inflation's picking up, it's going to run headlong into Trump's desire for lower interest rates, and that battle's going to determine the next move in the markets. Vote how you want, follow who you want, think whatever you want, but when you invest, truth and facts are all that matter. So if you enjoy truth-telling and staying up to date, follow Stansberry Research. We produce free, high-quality research on the economy, inflation, and the best investment opportunities in the market. So sign up for free at stansberrydigest.com right now. Be sure to hit like and subscribe here on YouTube so you never miss our market insights. We'll be tracking the tariff data for you as it comes out. But that's all for today. We'll be back next week.